Hello, and welcome to the Panther Tales podcast. I'm your host, Jack Gahan, with co-host Parker Hex.
This podcast serves as a way of retelling what happened this week at the high school in a way that you can listen to on the go.
We will discuss events, sports news, and on weeks where not much has happened, we will interview students and teachers alike.
New episodes come out every Monday or Tuesday. What should I say about this week? Because we don't have a lot.
Yeah, this week we have an interview coming up next, as well as some discussion on prom and AP finals and regular finals. So, on to the interview. So, this interview is with Kenley Glotzback and Hanson Davis, both stars in the Back to the 80s musical. Would you like to introduce yourselves? I guess the answer is no, then. Okay, fine. We'll get into the first question.
Yeah.
So what was it like working on the musical?
Tiring, very, very tiring. When it first starts out, about 3 or 4 months back from the actual viewing, rehearsals go till about 4:30, and then they increase that by about a half hour every other week, give or take, to the point that you're staying till 8 p.m. for the final week. So it gets exhausting. Kenley, you got anything to say on it?
I agree that it is tiring, but I would also say that it's just overall a great experience because you get to bond with all the people, and while it's tiring, it's very you get that extra momentum and joy to be with the people because of all the bonding and close proximity you have with them.
I'm asking you for questions.
I know.
Okay.
I'm going to get there.
All right. So, next question. What do you think was the best, and what do you think was the worst part of this musical? Start with worst, so we can end on a high note with this question.
I would say the worst part was probably some of the awkward moments that we had to deal with throughout the rehearsal process. But I'll say the good moments was the bonding that happened due to all those awkward moments and some of the weirder parts of the show.
When you say awkward moments, do you mean awkward scenes?
Yes.
That is a way to put it. This show was made in 2005, so there were just lines that were really weird, like a teacher calling someone good girl. We cut that because it made no sense whatsoever.
Being called a stud.
You don't need to remind me. I'd say those awkward moments made it funny, but it was definitely weird in the moment. Definitely very weird in the moment. I'd say the worst part of the actual musical was just getting people into it, because we had lost, I want to say, 3 people midway while making it. We lost vocal PAs and a couple actors, so just figuring out who was in it took time.
Was that from them choosing to leave or external forces?
I'm not privy to that information.
All right, then.
What was it like just working with everybody that you guys worked with, like directors, PAs, especially cast?
I feel like it could simultaneously be a very chill and then a very stressful environment, depending on what have you. You're very rarely going to be angry with a castmate, and they're not going to demand a ton of you because they're in the same boat as you. Meanwhile, with directors, they're kind of your bosses, so you try to find the right word for this. You cierran tu boca. We're going to put it like that.
Close your mouth.
Kenley, anything?
I would say that it definitely was a different experience working with directors this show because we didn't have Miss Parker, our like head director, so we had to adjust to working with Youngsma and Dor as more of the head directors and working on how they block and do all of the stuff differently throughout the rehearsal process. And I also say the castmates we're together so much that the bonds just grow and we're just able to like have that family and group that we have to respect each other and work together to create the great show.
So at least my final question, I don't know if Parker will have one more or not. Are you proud of the final product, or you kind of wish there were some things that would have been changed or a bit better?
I am very, very proud of the final product because overall, when we first started the rehearsal and throughout when we were losing some castmates or we were losing we just felt like it was really stressful overall. We were just losing a little hope. But overall, it ended up coming out great, and I feel like we really showed what we've been working for and working towards. There are a few things I think we could have done differently, but overall, I think that we did show off what we worked towards and overall presented our theater company in a great way.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree. The show had some rough parts, but I feel like the finished
Don't worry, project's a difficult word.
At the end of the day, I'm proud of what we made. I feel like there's very few things that I can be negative about on it. There's only one specific day where I consider the viewing to be less than great, and that was at the very end where most problems had been eliminated by then. So I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it.
Well, I'd say that is about it. Thank you very much for accepting the interview, and we hope to see you soon in later productions.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good one.
So thank you to Hanson and Kenley for that interview. So now let's talk about prom, which, as of the day of recording, is today later on.
Yeah, I know of many of people who are going, including our very own editor-in-chief of Panther Press.
Yes. So I believe the theme is The Great Gatsby.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Theme most of this week has been about murder mystery, which I don't know if people have heard, but the crown is missing.
Yeah, actually both of them.
Both crowns are missing, and perhaps I don't know why we're talking like this. By the time that this gets published, this is already ended.
Yeah.
So yeah.
By the time you guys are hearing this, we know who won. I don't know.
Yeah, my bet is. How about you?
Yeah. I don't know.
So that should be an entertaining. We'll get Panther Press should be able to get a story out for that quite easily.
We'll probably get one out by middle of next week, honestly.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, we have really talented writers.
Yeah. We got really talented, really fast writers on our staff.
We do.
So
fast in the sense that they do a good job and they do it fast, not that they just breeze through it.
They get it done.
So, I guess it's time to discuss finals, both AP and regular. They're coming up. Only 23 days till up to school.
Yeah. Finals, what? June 3rd, 4th, 5th? Something like that?
Yeah, last week of school it's going to be all finals.
Yeah.
But May 12th we have all AP class finals. So.
Yeah. This is going to be...
It's time for all the AP students to really hone in on that class and
step
focus
up their
hard.
Game. Step up their game on studying and just a lot.
Well, hopefully if they're in an AP class, they're already doing a good job. But if not, now is the time to, improve on yourself. It's for AP classes, that's where it really matters, because AP classes are more college level classes, hence why they're being taken so early. However, regular classes are well, they're regular classes. You still want to do good on them. Don't do bad. But if I mean, it's less permanent if you don't do as well. While AP, it's a C might be passing, but that's gonna be on your record forever. So, do you have any words of
Anyway.
advice?
I mean, honestly, just practice. Just whatever your subject is, just practice that for a while. That's all I got, pretty much.
All right.
For AP exams, at least. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Finals, that's a totally different thing. Kinda. I mean, to be fair, you have finals for almost every one of your classes.
Everyone does. Every class has to have a final. For the most part.
Yeah.
There's some that can get away with it, but that's
Yeah.
because they are, like, gym class.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, gym. But, I mean, there's set things for those finals, so, like, you know what to study and what to not study.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you wanted to mention, or?
I think that covers it, honestly.
Well, first episode without any important sports news.
Yep.
So take that how you will, and we will see you on the 5th episode. Have a good day.
See ya.